All right, so now we are going to learn how to create a buyer survey that will help you craft powerful messaging to your buyer about your buyer. All right, and surveys are amazing. It's one of my favorite things. It's one of the big keys to my success. Helps you speak their language in their language, and it helps them feel seen, heard, and understood. So the buyer persona or the buyer survey is not just to like learn more about, how to connect to your buyer, to your offer, but also how to layer the buyer's words over your messaging so you can speak to the way that they look at the transformation that you sell. This is going to help you crush objections. It's going to help you build belief, and it's going to transfer certainty. So this buyer survey is going to be what you're going to use to prep your selling outlines and also the masterclass training that you're going to teach. Okay. So the first thing that you want to do is your buyer survey needs to be around the transformation that you sell. Okay, this is what your audience is trying to get to. So a survey is going to help you understand what they are dealing with in trying to achieve this transformation. And so usually it's going to be comprised of a few things. All right. So the first thing is is a qualifier question, number one. And the goal of this question is to ensure you have the right people that are filling out your survey. You'd be very surprised. People will fill out the survey and they are just not a good fit. So you want to know that so that you don't consider their response in your decision making. So if you don't qualify and you don't ask, then you might, be changing things about what you're doing with like people that aren't even a good fit. And so the question that you would ask for this is, do you want to learn to get XYZ transformation? Because if they don't, sometimes again, people just fill stuff out and you're like, okay, like I'm going to disregard this response. Number two ensures that the people are in the right position. So it tells you where someone is at in their journey. So again, we talked about positioning and niching. So this is going to be very important. So have you already started getting the transformation, or do you have, which is again, that key position they must have. So I could say, have you already started how uh, making your sales on autopilot, creating an automated sales machine, or I can say, do you have an offer? Or I can actually add both, right? If those are two very important things. Okay. So the next one is your goal, like their goals. So it tells you what their main desire is and how they view the transformation. So the question's pretty simple. What is your number one goal when it comes to getting the transformation? Next is roadblocks. Tells you what things they think are holding them back from getting their transformation. So it could be things they hate, or it could be external or internal roadblocks. This is where you're going to get a lot of those false beliefs and those objections. So simple question could be, what is the number one roadblock that stands in your way of this goal you mentioned, and why haven't you started? What are your obstacles? So just really getting them talking about, what's wrong. So again, remember they have this main transformation, and then these are the things that they think are keeping them from getting that transformation. So it's going to really also help you find that big problem. Then the next one is number one things they want to learn. Tells you what they think is the most important towards getting their transformation and what they've been trying to figure out. So this is really helpful because now you're in their head. And so you're the expert and you know the steps that they need to take. You know the things that they need to learn. But now you can see what's the most important from your buyer's perspective. Okay. And then you can, in the future lessons, you'll learn how to leverage this response and focus that inside of your marketing, because essentially we sell them what they want, give them what they need. So it could just again be, what is the number one thing you want to learn about transformation? Then the next thing is fears. So this is going to tell you their internal false beliefs, the things they say to themselves that are holding them back. So what is your number one fear you want to avoid at all costs? So again, this is kind of more of the internal thoughts that they have of why they are afraid to sort of take this big leap and solve their problem. This is what they want to avoid. This is like the pain that they want to avoid. Then you want to ask, what have you tried? So this is going to show you all the different things they've been trying to do and haven't worked for them. So this is going to be so great because you can say, well, have you tried doing this, this, and that? And but you couldn't get your result. Okay, well, now here's a better way. So that's going to be so cool because they're really going to feel like you are in their head. And so it could, again, be the possible things they hate, or you can show them why that works, sure, like those could be ways that you could be doing it, but you've been doing it wrong. There's a better way, right? So what have you tried so far that hasn't worked? Very simple question. Specific result.
Actually, let me go back. So what I mean by the second part is you can show them why that works, but they've been doing it wrong. So a lot of people have been trying to do funnels, have been trying to do content. And so yes, like that they could be right on with like the solution, but just the way that they've been learning it is wrong. And so then I can take my signature process and why I'm different and say, yeah, I've seen you've been trying to grow your engagement. I've seen you've been trying to, do lead magnet emails, but like let me tell you why it's actually not working for you. So just wanted to touch on that. So the next one is specific result. This will show you what they expect to walk away with and what will get them to their desired transformation, right? So that thing that they get that we talked about in your clear promise. But again, this is really just going into someone's head and they're telling you essentially what they're expecting the clear promise to be. So it's going to just give you a lot of great information and making sure like you actually are positioning yourself to say, hey, like this is like you told me about all these roadblocks, the things you want to learn, the fears and all these stuff, and this is where you specifically want to get to. This is your desire that's going to get you to this transformation. Let me know what that is. And that's what this question is going to solve. Then the next part is the signature process. So if your process has a specific way of achieving results, highlight this here so you only sell to the people who want to achieve results in this way. So you could say, what is your number one fear or roadblock when it comes to achieving transformation in a certain way? And so what I mean by that is that I teach you how to do master classes and put those inside of an evergreen lead magnet, lead to sales system. If they don't want to do that, that's not the way that they want to sell on autopilot. They want to maybe make an ebook or something, or there's this, write a book, write a physical book and sell it for free shipping or whatever their process is, um, then they need to know that, because then there's like they might not be a good fit and they just don't want to learn that way. So like if you teach Pinterest or if you teach podcasting or certain things for your process to help someone achieve something, or a certain way of doing it, like if you do EFT tapping or certain types of somatic healing or whatever your process is, or if you use QuickBooks with your taxes and they're just like, I don't want to do that, then you make it clear. So again, you don't have the wrong people in your offer. Okay. You don't want to just chase the dollar. You want the right people, because then you're going to be able to compound those results in a way you just cannot quantify. Someone who's like the perfect person for what you've created, because you're so clear on that, is worth so much. They will be your best friend, your brand advocate, a loyal customer, and then you will be able to compound on the results because you'll actually be able to give them results. All right, and then the last one is pretty simple, is more things they want to learn. This is again is just going to show you other areas that they think are important in regards to their transformation. So just a simple question, name 3 additional things that you want to learn. Okay, and then again, you can, doing this for yourself so that you can actually, create your survey, just add your transformation here, which again is usually your clear promise, the USP of your offer. And then you can fill out all of these questions, inserting your information in these blocks here. Okay. And then the questions are not limited to the above. Okay. The idea is that you want to know more about who your buyer is and how they think about something. So simply ask a question that's going to give you that specific answer. So my golden rule is just when in doubt, ask your customers, which basically just means survey everything. And then you'll see here that I do, give you some examples of my questions, the questions that I have on the survey. Some of you may have already filled this out before, so you know what this is like. And it's kind of really funny because then you probably watched a piece of a masterclass or part of my content, and you're like, oh my gosh, you're in my head. And this is kind of where this process starts. Okay, so you can read these as an example. So the homework for this lesson is to fill out your survey, and then in the next lesson, or create your survey, fill it all out, craft your questions, and then in the next lesson, I'm going to show you how to get people to actually respond to your survey. Okay, so that's it for this training, and I will see you in the next one.